so creepy cool to me. Possum in a tree.
I will. Don't stick your butt out.
staring at me. I'll give you all the room that you need. Possum in a tree. Never mind the one-way road. You'll go any way you want to go. You'll never see me standing in your way. And if you start walking, I'll make you stay. You look so creepy cool to me. Possum in a tree. I know it's time for me to hit the road. I hope I never see you out there though. The road is rough and rocky along the way. And if you don't look out, you just might pay. I hope that you will.
Hey, welcome to Bob's Barn Jamborees. This nice Sunday afternoon. Glad you folks are here. Going to be watching Steev Pothoff, and he's got Sid Rogers with him playing accompaniment. Let's see, if you haven't been here before and you need to use the restroom, go out that red door you came in, go up that green ramp, through that heavy glass door. There's a restroom off the lookout room, and if that's full, go left down that hall, make a bunch of lefts, you'll see one off the kitchen. Let's see, please turn your cell phones off. You can leave the cameras on, take all kinds of pictures if you want. Steve would appreciate that. Over on my right is a jar for donation. Anybody wants to help us keep this thing going, we appreciate it. Let's see, I think that's all I needed to say. Why don't you put your hands together and give Steev Pothoff a nice welcome.
It's the spaceman.
What are you looking at? Let me do a couple by myself. This summer I went swimming, this summer I might have drowned, but I held my breath and I kicked my legs and I moved my arms around, I moved my arms around. This summer I swam in the ocean, I swam in a swimming pool, salted my wounds, chlorine in my eyes, I'm a self-destructive fool, I'm a self-destructive fool. And jackknives for you all, and once when you weren't looking, I did a cannonball, I did a cannonball. This summer I did the backstroke, and I tell you that's not all. I did the breaststroke and the butterfly and the old Australian crawl, the old Australian crawl. This summer I swam in a public place in a reservoir to boot. At the former I was informal, at the latter I wore my suit. I wore my swimming suit. This summer I went swimming, this summer I might have drowned, but I held my breath and I kicked my legs and I moved my arms around. I moved my arms around. Held my breath and I kicked my legs and I moved my arms around. I promised to meet her when the clock... Oh, by the way, the Fender Company has asked me to announce that I play a Gibson. I promised to meet her when the clock struck 23. Down at the stockyard just a mile and a half from town. She runs the local tavern and the beer's always free. The pickles sell for 20 cents a pound. She's my baby, black-eyed and she's crazy, the prettiest girl in all of Arkansas. Her breath, it smells so sweet, but I'd rather smell her feet. She is my freckled-faced, consumptive Sarah Jane. I'm the man who rode the mule around the world. I'm the man who rode the mule around the world. I rode him to Alaska, then I sold him in Kalkaska. I'm the man who rode the mule around the world. I was born about 10,000 years ago. There's nothing in this world that I don't know. I knew the Pharaoh's kitties and I built the pyramids. I'll whoop the man who says it isn't so. I'm the man who rode the mule around the world. I'm the man who rode the mule around the world. I'm happy as a clam when I eat baked beans and spam. I'm the man who rode the mule around the world. Cleopatra fell in love with me. We got married in Milwaukee, Tennessee. So it really must have shook her when I took off with General Hooker and retired to a farm in Sicily. I'm the man who rode the mule around the world. I'm the man who rode the mule around the world. I set the flags a-flying when George Washington quit lying. I'm the man who rode the mule around the world. Very highly educated man. There's not a thing that I can't understand. Well, I've been around so long that I've sang every song and I've had front row seats to all my favorite bands. May the bird of paradise fly up your nose. May an elephant caress you with his toes. I saw Peter, Paul, and Mary sing so far to Tipperary, and I'll whoop the man who says it isn't so. I promised to meet her when the clock struck 23. Down at the stockyard just a mile and a half from town. She runs the local tavern and the beer is always free, but the pickles sell for 20 cents a pound. And I'll whoop the man who says it isn't so. This old woman moved from England, moved stateside. She wanted to buy a proper house out in the country. Found a man selling one. He showed her the house. She was real happy with it, agreed to send him the money. Well, after she left, she realized he had neglected to show her the washroom, or they call them in England, the water closet. She was a proper, polite lady. So she sent this man a letter. Dear sir, in my tour of the house, I neglected to ask about the WC. Well, he didn't know what WC stood for, so this old man, finally he comes to the conclusion WC must stand for Wayside Chapel. Well, he writes a letter back to her. It goes, Dear Madam, it is my great pleasure to announce to you that the WC is located 12 miles from the house amidst scenic pine trees and is open Friday and Saturday evenings and Sunday mornings. It seats 175 and has recently had heated seats installed as it can get drafty in the wintertime. Refreshments are available Sunday morning. It is my pleasure to invite you to join us this Sunday, and if you like, I will even save you the seat next to me.
What do you think about that, Bobby?
This is a fun song that I like to do. It's called Applejack. Play a song for me, Applejack, Applejack. Play a song for me and I'll sing. Play a song for me, Applejack, Applejack. Play a song and let your banjo ring. He lived in the apple orchard neath a little orchard shack. His name was Jackson Taylor, but they called him Applejack. Applejack was loved by everyone he ever knew. Applejack picked apples, but he picked the banjo too. Play a song for me, Applejack, Applejack. Play a song for me and I'll sing. Play a song for me, Applejack, Applejack. Play a song and let your banjo ring. I'd go down to Applejack's almost every day. We'd sit and we'd drink Applejack that Applejack had made. And then he'd get his banjo down and he'd ask me if I'd sing. He would play his banjo and I'd beat my tambourine. Play a song for me, Applejack, Applejack. Play a song for me and I'll sing. Play a song for me, Applejack, Applejack. Play a song and let your banjo ring. Well, that's when I was just a kid, and now that I'm grown, all I have is memories, 'cause Applejack is gone. But he left me this old banjo and the music takes me back. Every time I play it, I think of Applejack. Play a song for me, Applejack, Applejack. Play a song for me and I'll sing. Play a song for me, Applejack, Applejack. Play a song and let your banjo ring. Play a song and let your banjo ring. Well, this is just my luck. I had a tuner on one of these. I am going to play now a song that was recorded by a great banjo virtuoso named Hobart Smith. And Hobart Smith was a fantastic world-class banjo player who was virtually unnoticed until the folk revival of the 60s, when the Smithsonian crews went out looking, and they found Hobart Smith, and they'd found a lot of other great old-time banjo players like Doc Boggs and everybody. But Hobart Smith was the best of the old-time five-string banjo players, and this is one of his songs. It's called The Banging Breakdown, and it sounds like this. My little fifth string capo got moved. Well, thank you for coming. Hey, who has seen me before? This is a big crowd. Okay, probably a lot of you. So we're going to do a lot of the great songs from the 20s and 30s that I like so much today. So some of them are familiar, some of them maybe not so much, but I hope everybody enjoys them as much as I do. this is in G and D.
And D.
And it sounds like this.
G and D.
G and D. So this is one of those songs that is just synonymous with a style of music. It's Girl I Left Behind Me. And this is one of those tunes that everyone thinks of when they think of old-time folk songs. And it's everywhere in movie soundtracks, folk songs. It's a instantly recognizable old tune, and I don't even know if it has any words. G. So a little bit about banjo mandolins. In the 20s, when amplification technology was newfangled, people were not trying to make better electric instruments. They just wanted to make acoustic instruments louder. And there's a lot of cool inventions for acoustic instruments, but most of them are just sticking established necks and tunings on banjo bodies to make them louder. So banjo guitars, banjo basses, and they all went out of style really fast because electric instruments took over. And lots of mandolin players have old banjo mandolins as display pieces, conversation pieces. They might play a tune, but they never took them to jams or never did anything with them. That always just sat funny with me, so I take playing the banjo mandolin real serious because I'm the only one I know who does it. So this banjo mandolin was actually probably built early 1920s. It's by the same company that would later become Martin Guitars. Let's do Sandy River Bell. D. 1, 2, 1, 2. I saw an incredible performance when I was in high school of old-time fiddling music. And it was this fantastic husband and wife duo. Something the wife said has stayed with me. She introduced this tune. It's the St. Anne's Reel. We're going to put it up with Over the Waterfall because I think they sound nice together. The St. Anne's Reel is one of those tunes that's everywhere. Everyone's heard it, and it's so recognizable that it's commonly in beginning books, and as such, there's a lot of bad performances of it. And it's one of those songs that as people improve on their instruments, they stop playing it because it's a beginner song. And it's one of those songs that's really quite great and doesn't get a fair shake in music circles. So I like to play it. The man who invents a strap I can get on and off without moving my hat is going to make a fortune. I used to have a strap on my mandolin, but some old guy who made genuine leather mandolin straps kept calling it a sissy strap. I hit him with my purse, so I won. But after the pandemic, I had some money to spend. I did get a proper leather strap, so I guess I care what people think too much. Hey, I just love the music of Grandpa Jones, and this song is just really a fun song that I like to do. Traveled over this country wide seeking fortune fair. Up and down the two coastlines I've traveled everywhere. From Portland East to Portland West and back along the line. I'm going now to the place that's best, that old hometown of mine. 8 more mile in Louisville will come into my view. 8 more mile on this old road and I'll never more be blue. I knew someday that I'd come back, I knew it from the start. 8 more miles to Louisville, the hometown of my heart. There's bound to be a gal somewhere that you like best of all. Mine lives down in Louisville, she's long and she is tall. She's the kind that you can't find rambling through the land. I'm on my way this very day to win her heart and hand. 8 more mile in Louisville will come into my view. 8 more mile on this old road and I'll never more be blue. I knew someday that I'd come back, I knew it from the start. 8 more miles to Louisville, the hometown of my heart. I can picture in my mind the place we'll call our home. From that little cot for two we'll never want to roam. The place that's right for that love site is in them bluegrass hills, where gently flows the Ohio by a place called Louisville. 8 more mile in Louisville will come into my view. 8 more mile on this old road and I'll never more be blue. I knew someday that I'd come back, I knew it from the start. 8 more miles to Louisville, the hometown of my heart. So I like to play a lot of traditional music, and I like to do it on traditional instruments when possible. I like to buy and fix up old banjos, and this violin was actually made in Cadillac in 1933. Didn't get played very much in that time. I think it spent a lot of time in its case, but I was really excited when I bought this at a estate sale. Whiskey before breakfast. I got this tune out of the Yellow book, the Yellow Michigan Dance Tunes book that's now out of print. It's called the Military Schottish. I competed with this tune at a contest yesterday. I didn't win. That's not the song's fault. It did its best. G. So everybody's heard Maiden's Prayer. It's a legendary... Oh, speaking of things everybody's heard, did you hear about that Russian acrobat team that disbanded after the man in the human pyramid retired? They didn't have Oleg to stand on anymore.
Did you get that Oleg? Oleg, did you have a Oleg to stand on?
I competed with this tune in a contest too. I didn't win that contest either. Actually, there's a fun story about that. One of the tunes I played in that contest was Squirrel Heads and Gravy.
That's a good tune.
That's a fun song. I didn't know this at the time, but I had a very important backing guitarist in the contest. I didn't know at the time. All I heard was some old man just grumbling as I left the stage. Squirrel heads and gravy. I never heard no such thing. I didn't know it was Rex Gillentyne, okay? He played for like all of the famous fiddlers at the national contest for years. I didn't know. I didn't know it was him. The camera really does add 10 pounds. Maiden's Prayer. I learned a lot of music from Sid when I was really learning to play, so it's always exciting to ask him to help me out with these. We've done this song a few times, and I always get excited when we get a chance to do it.
I just wanted to mention after you said that's very kind of you to say that. You know, in a few years, if you follow Steve, I predict if he stays with it, good Lord willing, and his health stays good, and his dad keeps his foot right where he wants it to be, you know, keep prodding Steve along, I predict he's going to become well known over time because he's got that potential, he's got the drive, he's interested in music,
and with just my luck, it's going to be for wearing flippers.
Well, that's good too, isn't it?
I'm sure people wonder what is up with that guy, but I like to start all my presentations with something silly just to lighten the mood. If people take it too seriously and I mess up, it's over. If people know it's just for fun, I can mess up all I want and nobody cares anymore. This is a fantastic old tune. It's been around forever, but I got wind of it when the guy who used to compose music for all the Ken Burns documentaries recorded it, and his performance of it really caught my ear, so. One, two, three. My heart is sad and I am lonely for the only one I love. When can I see her? Oh no, never till we meet in heaven above. Bury me beneath a willow under the weeping willow tree, so she may know where I am sleeping, and perhaps she'll think think of me. She told me that she dearly loved me. How could I believe it untrue? Until the angel softly whispered, she will prove untrue to you. Bury me beneath a willow, under the weeping willow tree. She may know where I am sleeping, and perhaps she'll weep for me. Tomorrow was to be our wedding. God, where can she be? She's gone away to wed another, and no longer cares for me. Bury me beneath the willow, under the weeping willow tree. She may know where I am sleeping, and perhaps she'll weep for me. Bury me beneath the willow, under the weeping willow tree, so she may know where I am sleeping, and perhaps she'll weep for me.
Pretty tune.
Thank you, Sid. I need my capo back.
He brought his capo back.
All right, thanks for helping me, Sid.
Okay, good job.
Wish me luck. I'm going alone.
You're going to be good. It's muddy over there, but get your high boots on.
So I really like the songs of the 20s and the 30s. One of the big independent stars of the 30s and the 20s was Charlie Poole. Charlie played the banjo like nobody's business, and he recorded so many cool songs. And this is one of the songs that comes to us thanks to Charlie Poole's recordings. And by the way, Loudon Wainwright, the songwriter, he was also on a few episodes of MASH. He's been very integral in preserving all of those Charlie Poole recordings. But I really like this song. It sounds like this. Is there any mail for me? This question did he ask of the postman at the closing of the day. Then he hung his head and sighed as a tear came to his eye. Then he turned around and slowly walked away. Was it from a gray-haired mother, or a sister, or a brother? He waited all those many years in vain. From the early morning light, he would watch till dark of night for a letter, but alas, it never came. One day beside the shore he was found, his life was o'er. His spirit, it had gone out with the tide. In his hands they found a note, was the last thing that he wrote. If a letter comes, please place it by my side. Was it from a gray-haired mother, or a sister, or a brother? He waited all those many years in vain. From the early morning light, he would watch till dark of night, but the letter that he longed for never came. The ivy grows around the stone upon his mound, on which is etched his name, also his age. Many years have gone, they say, since his spirit passed away, but the letter that he longed for never came. Was it from a gray-haired mother, or a sister, or a brother? He waited all those many years in vain. From the early morning light, he would watch till dark of night, but the letter that he longed for never came. Isn't that just sad enough to depress a hyena? I really like sad songs. The doctors say I have depression. I wrote this song about it. Actually, it's not about depression. It's about this mandolin. This mandolin was built in 1924. And I just had this line for a song about it. The Second Great Depression is mine. And I knew that it was a song, but I didn't have it finished. And well, anyway, one day I was at work, and you know how you can just see the rain coming in when it comes in really hard and fast? It felt like that, except it was a song coming on, and if I didn't write it down, it would have just blown right past me and gone looking for another songwriter. So I didn't rehearse this, by the way. I just feel like doing it. This is one of mine. It's called The Second Great Depression, and it sounds like this. I hope. I wonder where the tree grew that became my mandolin. Could it have grown near here? I wonder if they prayed the day they built my mandolin, that it would still be here in 100 years. This mandolin has seen great wars and great depressions, shot presidents and then put on the moon. This mandolin has seen great wars and great depressions, but the Second Great Depression is mine. The doctors say it's chronic, I'm feeling just so blue. There's no pill or tonic that can help me pull through. This mandolin has seen great wars and great depressions, but the Second Great Depression is mine. Every note's a blue note when I play my mandolin. Folks ask if I'm okay, but I just force a smile and I tell them that I'm fine. If only they knew the sadness in my mind. This mandolin has seen great wars and great depressions, shot presidents and men put on the moon. This mandolin has seen great wars and great depressions, but the Second Great Depression is mine. I'm constantly lethargic, feeling sick and just worn out. I flat out just don't feel so good, don't know what that's about. This mandolin has seen great wars and great depressions, but the Second Great Depression is mine. And now for something completely different. Listen, children, to a story that was written long ago about a kingdom on a mountain and the valley folks below. On the mountain was a treasure buried deep beneath a stone. The valley people lusted for it, wanted it to call their own. So the valley sent a letter up the mountain, up the hill, asking for the buried treasure, tons of gold for which they'd kill. From the mountain came an answer, with our brothers we will share all the secrets of our mountain, all that we have buried there. Still the valley cried in anger, mount your horses, draw your swords, and they killed the mountain people, searching for their just reward. Then they stood before the treasure on the mountain turning red, moved the stone and looked beneath it. Peace on earth was what it said. Go ahead and hate your neighbor, go ahead and cheat a friend, do it in the name of heaven, justify it in the end. You won't hear any trumpets sounding come the judgment day, on the bloody morning after one tin soldier rides away.
You just sitting here and saying, that kid's pretty good.
I'm gonna pull out another Charlie Poole song. How many times we meet when walking down the street, a poor old man who's gotten old and gray. With old age his back is bent, in his pockets not a cent, and for shelter he has no place to stay. Friends and neighbors by the score, they'll turn him from the door. They'll see him on the street and pass him by. When you ask them why they do, here's what they'll say to you. He's old and gray, he's only in the way. Let us cheer them on, for they won't be with us long. Don't sneer at them because they're old and gray. Though today you may be young, old age to you will come. You'll be old and gray and only in the way. The lesson, I am sure, is for rich as well as poor. For take a rich man as he's growing old. His relations by him stand, but it's not to hold his hand. They can't wait for him to die, they want his gold. Soon he'll know the worth of all the treasures of the earth. He'll discover at the closing of the day. He's no different than the poor as his journey's almost o'er. He's old and gray, he's only in the way. Let us cheer them on, for they won't be with us long. Don't sneer at them because they're old and gray. Though today you may be young, old age to you will come. You'll be old and gray and only in the way. So, this is another song that just kind of bore down on me. And if I didn't write it down, it was going to just blow the windows out like a jet plane and keep going looking for a songwriter. Maybe it should have. I wrote this, I want to tell this story. Traffic in Traverse City is worse than trying to swallow a flaming porcupine. And I came to this intersection on my way to work. Some lady in a red Miata is parked there against a green light. Traffic's going around her on the right, and I don't want to wait for my green light to turn red and be stuck there while she repeats this for who knows how long. So finally I look, nobody's coming from around her. I'm going to go while the light's green, because she's not going anywhere. Boy, the minute I hit the intersection, she was on that gas pedal. So I had this song written, and I never got to perform it because I didn't want to perform a song that said, "Where'd that woman learn how to drive?" if I didn't have another verse about a bad man driver. And there's men in the audience who are saying, if you wait that long, you'll never finish it. Well, it didn't take me that long. I was about to make a left turn. Some guy in a lifted black truck went right, stopped before I could clear oncoming traffic, and hit reverse, nearly backing into me while I'm stuck in the oncoming lane. I omitted when I was writing that verse all the fun words I had to say. But it sounds like this. Leadfoot, tunnel vision, move aside. Where'd that woman learn how to drive? If you know what's best, get out of my way. Don't cause me any trouble on the road today. I had my blinker on, but she doesn't care. She's looking in the mirror, playing with her hair, cutting everybody off left and right. The traffic in this town's quite a sight. Leadfoot, tunnel vision, move aside. Where'd that woman learn how to drive? If you know what's best, get out of my way. Don't cause me any trouble on the road today. Sitting at a green light without a clue, but if you honk that horn, she'll cuss at you. Taking up both lanes to go one way. If you try to pass, there's hell to pay. Leadfoot, tunnel vision, move aside. Where'd that woman learn how to drive? If you know what's best, get out of my way. Don't cause me any trouble on the road today. Moron in a big truck cut me off. He was blowing black smoke, made me sneeze and cough. Then he stopped and he backed up into me. I'm the world's greatest driver, far as I can see. Leadfoot, tunnel vision, move aside. Where'd that woman learn how to drive? If you know what's best, get out of my way. Don't cause me any trouble on the road today. Now I'm not saying I'm guiltless here, but I've been driving for over 10 years and I don't have as much as a parking ticket. Traverse City drivers, I'll tell them where to stick it. Leadfoot, tunnel vision, move aside. Where'd that woman learn how to drive? If you know what's best, get out of my way. Don't cause me any trouble on the road today. Rain coming down out of thick black clouds, blowing blah 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 blah. I don't know why I put that down. I need that. So in about a month, it's going to be, I am running way longer than I thought. I wrote down too many songs. Probably just as well. I don't know why I'm sitting down. So in about 4 weeks, we're going to be 50 years from the day they shot String Bean. And a newspaper music editorial asked me to write an article about the death of String Bean that's going to be online for people to read on November 10th. This is just a really sad story, you know. On Ridgetop, Tennessee in 1973, the Brown Boys killed String Bean and Distill. The reason for it all was in the bib of his overalls. At least that's what the Brown Boys did tell. The thieves lay in wait for hours, but things didn't go their way. It was just a simple plan to rob a banjo man, but he wouldn't let go of his Opry pay. It must have been a terrible struggle for the cash in his bib overalls. The thieves said, "Don't give us trouble. We came for some, now we want it all." The thieves said, "Stand and deliver." String Bean said, "Go to hell." Later we would learn there was a point of no return. They shot him dead, then they shot Estelle. He saw no smoke from the chimney, so Grandpa knew that something was not right. It would burn forever in his memory, the things he saw, that dreadful, awful sight. Then 23 years later, they tore the fireplace down. They found $20,000 the Brown Boys never found. It seemed like easy money, but things didn't go their way. It was just a simple plan to rob a banjo man, but he wouldn't let go of his Opry pay. They say that nothing's sacred, and now I have seen it all. I read it in this morning paper. They've auctioned off String's overalls. I want to do a String Bean song. Good enough for what it's for. Live out in the valley, valley rich as cream. I've got the finest neighbors that you have ever seen. Got a honey pond, a tomato tree, I'm really doing well. Herding cattle in air-conditioned Cadillac Coupe de Ville. By the honey pond and the tomato tree is where I spend my time, eating country ham and biscuits, drinking elderberry wine. 3 cents a week is always spent for to get my biggest thrill. Herding cattle in an air-conditioned Cadillac Coupe de Ville. I can hardly say I'm rich and living like I should. Living life of Riley, Riley ain't never had it this good. You'll find me in the morning when the sun comes over the hills, herding cattle in an air-conditioned Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Herding cattle in an air-conditioned Cadillac Coupe de Ville. I'm going to do one more that I wrote. Unless that's a problem. You know what? I don't actually care. I'm going to do it anyway. So this is another one of those songs that just kind of washed over me like a cold front and said, if you don't write me down, I'm on to another writer. So I had to quick write it down. Took me maybe, this is another one of those 40-minute songs, and I really like it. If I could make a wish beside cold Lake Superior's shore, I'd wish for golden fiddle strings and play them nevermore. The kind of strings that sound like war and peace in a minor key. I'd find a knight from Cornwall and ask him to play with me. Back before Hemingway wrote Old Man and the Sea, an oracle left a prophecy, I thought it was for me. He said there'd be a song to make the pain all go away. I've searched for that song 40 years, I'm still searching today. The guitar player rode out on some Radleaf southbound train. The banjo player got killed for his money yesterday. The fiddler stood there playing some old song nobody knows. The drummer wore a barrel 'cause he stole the emperor's clothes. Then the brimstone rained down and made stained glass from my soul. The steel guitars played sad as blues gave way to rock and roll. I hoped death would be sweet like Christmas cookies in the rain. If I'd had my fiddle, I could have played through the pain. I heard the preacher tell my ghost the last song that I sang. I hoped for Foggy Mountaintop, but it was Golden Ring. Then he took his kids to Graceland and left me there alone. I would have called a doctor, but I couldn't find my phone. In the corner of my sadness, I found H.P. Lovecraft's ghost, drinking English breakfast tea and eating beans on toast. He took me to the future and I saw my fiddle there, but the golden strings were missing and the bow was lost somewhere. I asked him, will this be my lot to be a memory? He turned into a pillar of salt, his spirit was set free. And then the sun was setting and Lake Michigan went dry, and I heard Ira Louvin singing from somewhere behind the sky. If I could make a wish beside cold Lake Superior's shore, I'd wish for golden fiddle strings and play them evermore.
You want an encore, you guys? Hey, you got another one?
I'll do one more Grandpa Jones song then. There's a spot over yonder in the holler, just a little ways beyond the highest hill, where the possum gets so fat from drinking from the vat that holds the mash at Pabst Corn Liquor Still. I used to fire the boiler at Pabst Corn Liquor Still. I never have forgot it, and I guess I never will. When them fellers get to breathin' the scent of them corn squeezins, they'll take off down the hill and stand and drink their fill and never pay their bill at Pabst Corn Liquor Still. One day a swarm of bees, they got a notion they'd make their home inside that booze machine. They filled it full of honey, now Pap gets twice the money. It's the sweetest liquor a feller's ever seen. I used to fire the boiler at Pabst Corn Liquor Still. I never have forgot it, and I guess I never will. When them fellers get to breathin' the scent of them corn squeezins, they'll take off down the hill and stand and drink their fill and never pay their bill at Pabst Corn Liquor Still. One day whoever knew her climbed the mountain. He was bent on teaching any whiskey man. But then he tasted Pabst Corn Liquor, and just like a flash or quicker, he asked Pap if he could use an extra hand. I used to fire the boiler at Pabst Corn Liquor Still. I never have forgot it, and I guess I never will. When them failures get to breathin' the scent of them corn squeezins, they'll take off down the hill and stand and drink their fill and never pay their bill at Pabst Corn Liquor Still. They'll take off down the hill, they'll take off down the hill, they'll take off down the hill to Pabst Corn Liquor Still. Oh, by the way, if you really like what I've been doing, see me after the show. You can get a copy of either my Banjo CD, 21st Century Banjo. It's a $10 CD. It's got 20 tracks. I wrote 17 of them. And if you want more of what I do at my Bob's Barn shows, talk to Bob after and get a copy of the Barn Sessions. It's 25 tracks of stuff I do at my live shows. Some of the stuff I've done tonight's on there.
Good job, Steve. Hey, give him another round of applause. We're going to get the jam started by 4:30, we hope. I got a couple announcements here to make. This next Saturday is going to be Michigan Fiddlers Association Jamboree. They're at the COA on the north side of Hastings. That starts about 1 o'clock, goes to about 5. And not just fiddle music, but banjos and everything else is in there. On the table in front of you, there's a flyer that if you want to join the Michigan Fiddlers Association for $10 a year, you can fill out one of those forms on the inside, and I'll take it to the board when we meet. And so you get a lot of benefits there. You get to know where all the events are being held. Let's see. I think that's all I needed to say. What, Linda? If you like this, tell people. If you don't like it,
don't tell anybody.
wow, I almost forgot that. Stick around.